Did I understand you to testify that anti-Semitism is worse under the Trump administration?
Senator, thank you for your question.
You don't have to thank me. Okay. Your best thanks is to answer.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you that anti-Semitism has been rising, especially since the 2017
But has the Trump
Charlottesville
administration
attack.
caused that? Is that your testimony?
I wouldn't say the Trump administration has caused anti-Semitism. Has there been an increase since Trump has entered office? Yes.
Do you see a causal connection there?
Yes.
Grab your popcorn, pour your coffee, or sip your whiskey, whatever helps you settle in, because tonight we're not just watching a clip, we're dissecting a moment that reveals how power treats truth. Welcome to Unrestricted Thinking, the platform where the raw truth gets a seat at the table. Here, your voice is not a comment, it's a message to Washington. The White House should be listening to you, not just to itself. Topic of the video: the Senate exchange featuring Senator John Kennedy, Ms. Solomon, Mr. Racklin, and Ms. Cohab, and what it shows about anti-Semitism on campus, ideology, and responsibility. Let's dive in and see what really happened before we share our thoughts and beliefs. Drop your raw truth in the comments as we go. Subscribe to Unrestricted Thinking now, share this with a friend who cares, and tell me exactly how you feel. No filters, no fear. Political proverb: when the question is simple and the answer is smoke, the truth is hiding in the budget or the blueprint.
Ms. Solomon, I want to be sure I understand your testimony. Did I understand you to testify that anti-Semitism is worse under the Trump administration?
Senator, thank you for your question.
You don't have to thank me. Okay. Your best thanks is to answer.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you that anti-Semitism has been rising, especially since the 2017
But has the
Charlottesville
Trump administration caused that? Is that your testimony?
I wouldn't say the Trump administration has caused anti-Semitism. Has there been an increase since Trump has entered office? Yes.
Do you see a causal connection there?
Yes.
Why?
Trump has highlighted and platformed neo-Nazis and white supremacists.
Okay. I can't see that far.
Racklin.
Mr. Racklin, I understood you to say that in answer to Senator Durbin's question, the spending reductions, reducing the federal budget would increase anti-Semitism. Isn't that what you said?
No, I did not. I said that the constant threats to cut money to the Office for Civil Rights and the Department of Education prevents the federal government from adequately investigating anti-Semitism and other hate crimes on college campuses.
So you think one way to stop anti-Semitism is to give people more money? Is that right?
I think one of the ways is to actually fund people that are actually designed to investigate anti-Semitism on college campuses.
What's there to investigate? We see it.
We saw
it. Did you watch television? Did you see what happened at Columbia?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it was clear to me that the administration at Columbia and most members of the faculty believe passionately in diversity, equity, inclusion, and the right to hurt Jews. That's what I saw. Isn't that what you saw?
I saw.
Isn't that what you saw?
I saw protesters against the war in Gaza and them using some anti-Semitic slogans and thoughts. I would say, however, that it's hard.
Isn't that what you're telling me? That's not what you saw. Now, don't get off the subject on me now. You're telling me that's not what you saw.
I'm telling you that it is difficult for the federal government to adequately address the issue of anti-Semitism.
Are you telling me the Columbia administration and the faculty was supportive of the Jewish community?
I think that they are trying to
You need to stop dipping into your ketamine stash.
Into what? Excuse me?
Now, if we're going to solve this problem, we need to talk about it. And it wasn't just at Columbia. It was at Berkeley. It was at UCLA. It was at Barnard. And Columbia has a history of discriminating against the Jewish people. They used to refuse to let Jewish students come to their university. Now, you can try to bubble wrap this, but that's what I saw. If you want to stop a lot of the anti-Semitism, maybe we need to stop teaching kids to be anti-Semitic.
Sir, I would relish that opportunity.
Let me ask you a question, Ms. Cohab. Did I say that right?
Cohab.
Do you think it's possible to feel compassion for the Palestinian people without hating Jews?
Absolutely.
Would you elaborate on that? Because it looks to me like many of our Ivy League universities, they weren't the only ones. Some universities handled it well. Vanderbilt, University of Chicago, Tulane. But it looks like the administration was teaching kids you got to pick a side. Mm-hmm. You either have to hate Jews or you have to be for Hamas. You can't be. There's no middle ground. Tell me what you think. What you saw. You've written a book about it. Maybe Mr. Rocklin ought to read it.
Just because we are testifying, I wrote a chapter in the anthology Young Zionist Voices about what's happening on college campuses, and my book is coming soon, so look out for that.
Good plug, but
So let me answer your question.
Can you feel compassion for the Palestinian people and not hate Jews?
Absolutely. I think that what I've seen on college campuses is a pushing of a Marxist framing of the way that you see the world. And this is not only in liberal studies departments. I've taken dance classes, I've taken creative writing classes, where your final project is literally called The Political is Personal. And what they're teaching you on college campuses is that the political is personal and that everything should be personalized. And there's a global north, a global south, a global right, and a global wrong. And the issue with college campuses and what's happening right now in the United States is that we're allowing ideology to drive violence. A society that says that you can commit violent acts based on your ideology because your ideology is correct is a society that's eroding. And that's what I see on college campuses. Now, you asked if I could feel Palestinian peoplehood, right? If I could feel compassion for the Palestinian people. Absolutely. And every night when I go to bed, yes, I pray for the Jewish people, but I also pray for the Palestinian people, for God to send them leaders that actually care more about their safety. Leaders that put their people's safety in order to propel an ideology at risk aren't leaders. If you look at Hamas, they tout what happened after October 7th up until this day as a victory. How can you lie in rubble after thousands of your people have died and call that a victory? So what I see that has to happen on college campuses is de-radicalization. Until you admit that there's a radical ideology happening on a college campus, you cannot fight it. You cannot fight it.
Senator Arano.
Here's what happened. Senator John Kennedy asked Ms. Solomon a question that should have taken 5 seconds. Did anti-Semitism get worse under Trump? Instead of a clear yes or no, we got a maze. After the turns and the qualifiers, she finally admitted anti-Semitism has risen and hinted that Trump platformed extremists. Why did that matter? Because clarity is oxygen. When a hearing can't breathe, the country can't think. Kennedy's insistence on a straight answer exposed the core issue. If we can't name the pattern, we can't fix the problem. Political proverb, a nation that stutters at the truth will sprint toward confusion. Quick pause. If you value direct questions and clean answers, hit subscribe and ring the bell. This is unrestricted thinking, where evasions go to die and evidence gets a microphone. Tell me in the comments, did you hear clarity or choreography? Mr. Racklin argued that threats to cut federal funding weaken the ability to investigate anti-Semitism on campus. Translation, the system needs more fuel. Kennedy pushed back, how does money replace moral courage? Campuses are not short on statements, offices, task forces, or glossy PDFs. The shortfall is will. We all saw the clips. Libraries blockaded, slurs shouted, students intimidated. That isn't a missing paperwork problem. Political proverb, a budget without backbone is a speech with no verbs. Ask yourself, would another office have stopped a mob, or would a dean with a spine have done more in one sentence than a 1,000-page report? Jump in the comments, Washington needs to hear your take, and if you're with me so far, subscribe and share this video, grow the circle that tells the truth out loud. Kennedy called out Columbia and other elite campuses. The claim, administrators preach inclusion, then shrink when inclusion costs social courage. Racklin denied that administrations support anti-Semitism, but the explanations were thin. This is where the debate stops being theoretical. If a student is afraid to walk to class with a Star of David visible, the policy failed in practice. Political proverb, if safety depends on silence, the policy is the problem. Tell me below, what did you see in those campus clips? Protest or permission? And yes, subscribe to Unrestricted Thinking. This channel exists so your witness statement reaches DC. Then Ms. Cohab changed the temperature in the room. She said the obvious, bravely, you can have compassion for Palestinians without hating Jews. She described classrooms pushing a rigid frame, oppressor versus oppressed, where identity becomes guilt or license. Once that label sticks, hostility feels heroic. That's the fuse. Her remedy? De-radicalization, naming the ideology, not hiding behind new committees. Because if you won't diagnose the disease, you're not serious about the cure. Political proverb, when ideology wears a lab coat, the exam is theater and the patient gets worse. Do you agree? Comment your raw truth. This is the conversation the White House should have to hear from you. I stand with Senator Kennedy because he did 3 things leaders often dodge. Demand clarity. No fog, no footnotes. Name the trend. Separated money from morality. Budgets matter. Backbones matter more. Put students first. Safety and equal protection are not partisan. I'm with Kennedy because the job is not to manage the optics. The job is to protect the principle. If a campus cannot guarantee equal dignity and security for Jewish students, it has lost the plot. Political proverb. Power that fears plain words is already negotiating with its own failure. If that resonates, subscribe, share, and speak. Your comment isn't decoration, it's direction. Washington moves when citizens refuse to. Here's how we fix it. No excuses, no theater. Baseline standards. Every campus publishes a clear enforced anti-intimidation code. Content neutral, viewpoint neutral, action focused. Equal protection in practice. Protests, yes. Blockades, threats, harassment. Immediate consequences. Transparent discipline. Real-time reporting on incidents and outcomes. Sunlight ends rumors and forces courage. Civic literacy. Teach students the difference between protest and persecution, dissent and dehumanization. Support and security. Visible support services for targeted students. Fast response teams that answer to policy, not politics. Leadership accountability. Tie executive reviews and compensation to campus safety metrics and civil rights compliance. Political proverb. Justice measured is justice managed. Justice hidden is justice harmed. Add your ideas in the comments. Washington needs your blueprint. Share this video with someone in higher ed. And if you're new here, subscribe to Unrestricted Thinking, the platform government should be nervous about, because you speak here. Breathe. Take another sip, popcorn, coffee, whiskey, or your comfort food of choice and stay to the end, because this part's about you. This channel is called Unrestricted Thinking for a reason. Here the raw truth is not punished, it's published. Your comment isn't just feedback, it's a message to the people who set the rules. You are the counterweight. Without citizens who speak, the government is a room full of titles with no purpose. Political proverb, when citizens whisper, power shouts. When citizens speak, power listens. Now, subscribe to Unrestricted Thinking. Share this video with one person who values courage over choreography. Comment your unfiltered take, what you saw, what should happen next, and how we hold institutions to the standard they advertise. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, stay calm, and stay courageous. This is Unrestricted Thinking, where your voice turns truth into pressure.